Put that in the show notes almost every week. Okay, so let's bring this episode home. I said it was going to be short. I got to keep it under half an hour. That's easily done. So here's the deal. Let's sum up the whole show today. You don't need money to start an internet business. Of course, you need a couple dimes to rub together, like I said. Yeah, you'll need to have a few dollars. Don't quit your job because Jim said, hey, you can make money without money on the internet. I'm going to go do it. No, you need to have enough income to pay your basic bills. You need to have a little money to play with. $100, you can get started doing this. $100 spare dollar. Instead of, hitting Starbucks once a week, save that money up for 3 months if you have to. That's your money. That's your investment capital. And you can start doing this. $100, $200, start playing around. Read the Silent Sales Machine book. You certainly don't need a big pile of cash. You certainly don't need a college education. Where you live in the world is irrelevant. If you have the internet, if you're listening to this on an internet connected device, you have the tool you need. You could drop me anywhere on the planet. If I've got internet, my business rocks and rolls. Don't even feel a speed bump. Those 100 people that are working for me, that I haven't even met, most of them, that I don't even know where probably half of them even live on the planet, and I could care less where they live on the planet. You could drop me anywhere, and you could drop them anywhere. You could move my whole family tomorrow. We're fully transportable. We homeschool, guys. So get this, literally right now. We could all go hop in the car or hop on an airplane, grab the internet connection. Now, of course, we'd leave behind some precious friends and family and all those. I'm leaving those factors aside. I'm just talking logistically. Literally drop us anywhere. Say you can't come home for 5 years. It would have zero impact on my business. How beautiful is that arrangement? When else in human history was that even possible? We are so blessed to live when we do. Okay, I said I was going to keep this under half an hour, and I'm summing this whole thing up. I'm having too much fun with this. Can you tell? You don't need any money. It doesn't matter where you live. If you've got the internet, there's so many opportunities available to you. Start small. Move forward slowly. I didn't remind you of this today, but this is always a theme of everything we teach. Slow and steady wins the race. There's never a need to take a big risk. The era of writing huge checks and then hoping the business works out someday, that era is gone. It's unnecessary at all levels. It's just not necessary anymore. You can test your ideas for a few dollars now. Don't write big checks. The next time you start to write a really big check for your internet business, just remember Jim saying in the back of your mind, don't write big checks. Don't write big checks. Don't drop big piles of cash into uncertain territory. It's not necessary. Now you may be saying, well, Jim, you said you buy tons of inventory on your credit card and you pay it off every month. Aren't you contradicting yourself? No, I'm not contradicting myself. And here's why. Those widgets that we're buying 1,000 of, we started off buying 3 of them and they sold. So we bought 10 and they sold. So we bought 50 and they sold. And we were starting to learn the refund rate and the defects with the product and how the audience responds and what kind of packaging they really want and what our sales ratio was, what our conversion rates are. For every 10 people that see this widget, 1 person buys it. Okay, we're starting to figure out our conversion rate here. Now we know exactly what we're getting ourselves into when we buy 1,000 units. We did not start off buying 1,000 units, as many popular courses teach you to do. Jim, they said I could get a discount if I buy 1,000. Well, that's great. I'm not interested. I don't care about your silly discount. I want to know what the audience wants first. So I'll pay full price for those first 5 units. That's fine. Thank you very much. I don't need your 1,000 unit discount. I'm not going to drop a pile of cash into uncertain territory to build my internet business because it's simply not necessary. And I have thousands of success stories that have taught me that lesson very clearly. It's simply not necessary. So a one-word answer to the question being asked on today's program. And the question again, as a reminder, is, do I need a big pile of cash in order to have success on the internet? And the simple 2-letter, one-word answer of today's episode is no. No, you do not. You don't need a big pile of investment cash. And as a matter of fact, most of the most compelling success stories in our community have come from those who didn't have it. They almost had an advantage because they came in without the disadvantage of thinking to themselves, how can I turn $100,000 into $1 million using the internet? Well, the same way that somebody with $50 in the bank can. They test little ideas that cost very little money. I think I've made my point, and I'm going to keep this under half an hour. I really love doing this podcast. And hey, if you're enjoying this podcast as much as I'm enjoying doing it, could you do me a little favor? On any desktop, it could be a PC, it could be a Mac, it doesn't matter. Go to iTunes. It's free. Download iTunes. You got to download it. You download iTunes. That's free. Set up your Apple account. I know you got to do that. Another ID, another password. I'm sorry if you don't have one yet. Please do that for me though. And then leave a review.